And I didn't even feel pain at the time. I think the adrenaline was just flowing so much. It was just get out, get out, get out. I dated Paul for approximately 4 years and decided the relationship was not going to be the one for me. And he had been drinking, and that abuse had increased quite a bit. So I told him I would be his friend. You know, we needed to move on. I offered to go to AA with them as a friend. But, you know, we could not be together anymore. I wanted him to stop. I just was trying to get it through his head that there was no future and he needed to stop and go find somebody else. One night he asked me to go for a ride for him and talk, and he said he wanted to tell me goodbye, and that would be that. So I said, no, I will go for a walk with you, because we lived in the same neighborhood. So I said, we can go for a walk and you can tell me what you think you need to tell me. And then you promise you'll leave me alone. And he said, yes. He was in the kitchen and he said, come here a minute. And I stood up and I looked at him and I said, why? What are you doing? What's going on? He said, come here and give me a hug. But he had his hands behind his back and he was acting a little odd. So I said, what do you mean? What do you want? And when I hesitated and wouldn't go, he brought a knife out from behind his back. When I saw the knife, I thought, oh, I am in deep trouble. He has gone off the deep end, and, you know, I think your instinct survival kicks in. That's the fight or flight and the adrenaline rush. And my instinct at first was flight. I've got to get out of here or I'm going to get hurt. When I ran for the door, I discovered it was locked. And the first lock I undid was a deadbolt. While I was unlocking that one, he stabbed me in the back at least twice. And it's sort of like, you know, when it's a sharp pain and a thud, sort of all at the same time, I guess from the force of the knife going in, but kind of caught my breath and took it away. And I was holding on to the side of the door just as hard as I could. And when I finally let go, we tumbled to the floor. He was sitting on top of me, and the knife was like in his hand right above my face. And I just focused on grabbing the hand, the wrist that had the knife in it. And when I grabbed one hand, he would switch the knife to the other hand. And back and forth for, 5 or 6 times. And I guess at one point I missed, and the knife came down and went into my chest. I was flailing and hitting and bucking, trying to get away, and I believe I made contact with his neck because he gasped for air and rolled off. And I didn't even feel pain at the time. I think the adrenaline was just flowing so much, it was just get out, get out, get out. He was kind of laying there in a ball, sort of, and that's when I took off for the door. When I got to the middle of the road, I started screaming fire. Because if you call for help, statistics show that no one helps you. I remember it sort of like a slow motion movie, I'm running, I can't breathe, I'm thinking, why do I smoke? I could breathe if I didn't smoke, not realizing my lung was collapsing, and that's why I was having such a hard time running. I'm thinking, if I can just get home, I just need to get home, I can call an ambulance, I can be behind a locked door. I was just tunnel vision to the house, to the house, to the house. And I could hear his footsteps getting closer and closer and closer, and I couldn't run any faster. And I'm thinking, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it. Just keep going, keep running, keep running. He caught up to me and tackled me, and we both went down. And at that point, I just started screaming bloody murder. And he was stabbing me wherever he could, in the arm, in the shoulder. And he put his hand over my mouth to stop me from screaming. And he said, I love you, I love you. And if I can't have you, nobody else will, and I will meet you in hell. I bit his hand very hard and, wiggled my face to get away to scream. And I got to the point where I couldn't fight anymore. I was losing a lot of blood, and I was to the point where I could not see. I was going into shock, and I couldn't see. So I finally I rolled over to protect the front of me, and he started stabbing me in the back of the neck. So I put my hand over my neck to protect my neck, and I just was crying, please someone help me, he's killing me. I know one of the stab wounds hit my skull, and it cut a sensory nerve, and it went numb. I could feel it going numb down my head, down my neck. And I really thought, okay, I'm either dead or paralyzed. And I'm gonna be laying here in the gutter with grass in my mouth, dead. What is my mom gonna think? How horrible. Right about then, when I thought that was it, I was gonna be a goner, I thought I am going to die in the gutter with grass in my mouth, and I know tears were pouring, and I just could not fight anymore. I hear, stop, police. At first, he ignored her, and I know he stabbed me 2 or 3 more times, and she yelled, stop, police, again. He ran away. I could hear his footsteps running away. Next thing I knew, I hear 2 gunshots. So I'm like, oh, I guess she shot him. Maybe I'm safe. Maybe I'm gonna be okay. Then we hear his car start up. So my thought at that point was, great, now he's gonna run over me. She said, help us on the way, help us on the way. I've called it in, help us on the way. And in the distance, I could hear sirens. I was stabbed 36 times. 9 of those wounds were potentially fatal. One in my spine, actually, when they did the MRI, it came so close to nicking the spinal cord. The surgeon said he didn't think in surgery with a scalpel he could come that close and not do any damage. I survived because the will to live, fight, adrenaline, God, and the police officer who was awake with her sick dog.